Hi guys, welcome back to True Crime with Darius. Today we are talking about the Vincent Li murder, as recommended by Nemo to Fish again. Way to go, that's 2 cases in a row that I really wanted to cover. On July 31st, 2008, at approximately 1:30 a.m., Vince Li, pictured here, tried to break a window on a Greyhound bus just 19 miles outside of Winnipeg, Canada. He was actually trying to evade a crime that he had committed and escape the police, but after breaking the window, police were actually able to get him in handcuffs and get him arrested. On Vince's person, police actually found the tongue, ear, and nose of another man named Tim McLean. He was 22 at the time. Yeah, it's gross. So I'm sure you're wondering, how in the world did we get to the point where Vince had a nose, ear, and the tongue of somebody else in his pocket and was being arrested and detained on a bus? Well, we'll talk about that in part 2. See you guys there. Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the Vince Li case and the murder of Tim McLean. So as I mentioned before, this all started the day before at 12:01 p.m. Tim McLean got on the Greyhound bus and sat more towards the back of the bus. And then a few stops later, Vince Li actually got on the bus, who was 40 at the time, and seemed to be sound. He was being quiet. Everybody said that everybody on the bus was chill. So everything was fine until a scheduled bus stop. People were getting off and getting back on, doing whatever they do at a scheduled rest stop. And at that point, Vince had moved from the front of the bus to the back where Tim was sitting. He had his earbuds in. He was trying to fall asleep. He had just got back from work, so he was tired and on his way home. Everything seemed to be sound and fine until they started to leave the rest stop. And then Vince started to stab Tim in the neck and the chest violently. Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 3 of the Vince Li case, or the murder of Tim McLean. So picking up where we left off before, Vince is stabbing Tim. Obviously, everybody on the bus starts to freak out. They're trying to defend Tim. They're trying to get Vince to leave him alone. The bus driver did pull off to the side of the road and stopped the bus. A few passengers actually tried to defend Tim and get Vince off of him, but he threatened to stab them, so they all got off the bus and just let him do his thing at that point. So everybody's standing outside the bus. They watch Vince actually decapitate Tim and eat parts of his flesh through the windows. And then he tried to get off the bus, and that's when the bus driver and a few other people had hammers and a crowbar, and they were standing at the door basically saying, like, hey, you're not getting off, we're calling the police. They're coming right now. And that brings us to the point that we were at the beginning of part 1. Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 4 of the Vince Li case / the Tim McLean murder. So police show up at the Greyhound bus. They get Vince actually in handcuffs, apprehended, put into the cop car, and taken away. There's actually a really creepy and unsettling interview on YouTube of a eyewitness who's actually trying to defend Tim, like I mentioned before. And you can see that on YouTube, just look it up. So they obviously charge Vince with the murder, but he's not found criminally responsible because of accounts of him being crazy, obviously. He claimed that God was telling him to kill Tim because Tim was an alien and he was here to murder everybody on Earth. And the scariest part of this whole thing is that up until this point, Vince seemed like a completely normal person. No one ever said that he acted strange or anything. And he was actually released from a psychiatric center in 2018, and he's living on his own now under a different name. But yeah, that's the Vince Li story. If you guys want to hear more true crime, I do it every other day, so follow me over here and recommend